All right, what's up, guys? So this is going to be my straight out of theater reaction slash review of Malum, the new horror film that was released this weekend, which a lot of you guys may not know about. I've been kind of keeping my eye on this film because I think it looks a bit interesting, so here's my quick review. All right, so Malum is about a rookie police officer who takes the last shift at a newly decommissioned station in an attempt to uncover the mysterious connection between her father's death and a vicious cult. And throughout the night, she finds herself dealing with these terrifying supernatural events while trying to unveil the truth behind her family's twisted past. All right, so straight off the bat, I don't think that this was a terrible movie at all, honestly. It's a really good horror film in the sense that it provides the horror element very early on and pretty consistently mostly throughout the film. It gets a bit repetitive towards the end. Jump scares and things like that are coming a little too frequently, and I think they're much better well paced and earlier on throughout the movie. But as far as a horror film goes and bringing the scare factor, this movie has that completely. Where I think the movie begins to lack more than anything is with the story element. It seems like it's starting off pretty strong within the first, 15 to 30 minutes within the film, even maybe a little longer than that. It's pretty intriguing to follow this police officer, find out more about her father and what that has to do with this crazy cult and how that all comes together within the story. Also, before I forget this, I gotta say that I actually enjoyed the music a lot in this movie as well. It's always nice to come across a horror film that you haven't heard of before, and the score for the movie is really good. You're going to get a great score throughout this movie, and it might be one of those scores that you want to look into. Like after you see the film, you might want to check out some of these songs. I thought the shit worked really well with what we saw. It's creepy, man. I mean, that's all I can really say. It's a creepy horror film. It delivers on those things. It's going to make you jump. A lot of the set pieces are set up really well. I wasn't really expecting like an old precinct to kind of have this feel, but it's dark. There's a lot of like erosion throughout the building and stuff, and they just do a really good job with just setting the tone for this creepy ass police station. It really works for this movie. I'll just say that I wasn't completely happy with the way the story wrapped up. There's a lot of psychological elements to this movie, and it kind of tends to hop in and out of the psychological element. There is a physical threat throughout the movie. We find out what that is a lot later on, but then it decides to kind of teeter, and it bounces in between the physical threat in the real world and then what the character is dealing with mentally in this psychological element throughout the film too. And sometimes that doesn't tend to blend that well. It just doesn't always work out that well throughout the film. And then when they try to wrap it up, it doesn't quite come together that clean. Ultimately, I'll say if you don't really have anything else to check out this weekend, you want to watch a new horror film, you are willing to give something different a chance, it's definitely got a vibe where it's familiar. It's something you've seen before. You might be able to point out several other films that kind of deliver a vibe like this. But for what came out this weekend as far as new releases, I think this is worth going to go see. You might like it. So I'm gonna give Malum a 7 out of 10. Oh, and also guys, I forgot to mention that this is from the director Anthony DiBlasi, which I hadn't really seen a lot of his work. He produced the film The Midnight Meat Train, which actually wasn't a bad horror film at all. And he directed The Last Shift, which was a film that I checked out. I didn't really love it too much. This movie, Malum, has a very similar feel to The Last Shift, but I think this, of course, is a lot better. I think he's had a lot more time to probably get the story together and flesh it out. I don't really remember that movie that well. I remember it having a similar feel to this movie. But anyway, if the film sounds interesting enough, I think you guys should go check it out.